So for those of you who aren't aware of the concept behind the video, the inspiration actually for the opening ashy scene came from Pompeii in Italy, so the big volcanic eruption. And I remember seeing these preserved ashy bodies just still in the dust and the clay, and there was something so evocative about that image. So I wanted to take that image and tie it into the resurrection metaphor that I had. So rising from the ashes, rising from nothing. So we had everyone sort of laying still in the ash and slowly reanimating. And as I was rising and as I was finding my voice and my fire, then it was sort of summoning and encouraging the people around me to rise with me as well into full voice and full flame. And I felt that it was imagery that really tied in with the lyrics. The lyrics themselves are about reclaiming your identity, reclaiming your voice. It's like an analysis, or it's really just like fine point looks at the relationships you have with other people, what you allow, and also the relationship that you have with yourself. I think the relationship you have with yourself is the most important one you'll ever have. So in a nutshell, not very small nutshell, that's the concept for the video. Hanging out with Darren. Darren is from 0 Point Productions. He helped us put together our Ashes video. So, Darren, thanks for being with me tonight.
It's a pleasure.
Would you like to share kind of how we met?
How we met?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was about 7 years ago I met you because I was doing a video shoot for Belinda Embelliment.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
Was that video shoot out at Taunton, out at the Noosa Botanical Gardens? Yeah, that was a cool one. Yeah. That's, I think, the first video that I did for Belinda, and that's kind of like what kick-started my sort of artistical video creations, and that was a good journey for doing that. So yeah, that's how I met you doing that. So
yeah, nice. Yeah. Love Embelliment, love everything they do, and that I did see that video and think, wow, like that was really cool. There's a lot of like fire performance and trippy like mirroring editing that you did. It was really cool. So we're like, oh, I reckon we should hit up Darren to help us out with this video.
Yeah. I did love doing that video. That's when I realised how fun it can be to be like create magic in the editing. And it's obviously, you know, going around with the gimbal and getting awesome angles and stuff like that is like a massive big part of it, but there's so much magic in the editing process where you can do all that tricky imagery and slow motion effects and like have it just like this beautiful flow in time with music. And that's where I was just like, yeah, this is cool. I love doing this kind of stuff.
Totally. And I think that's where I thought, yeah, I could see a fellow creative mind. And I'm like, I feel like we would work really well together.
Yeah, cool.
So when it came to my creative process and coming up with the concept, storyboarding, all that kind of thing, what I loved about working with you is we were able to collaborate and ebb and flow with each other. So I guess that's like what I brought to you was a storyboard and a concept, and then we sat down and chatted about, okay, like how do we make this actually work? From your perspective, I have all these wild ideas and you're like, okay, but how do I actually get that shot?
Like, okay, so I don't work in Hollywood and I don't have access to like CGI and like massive big green screens, big dolly gimbals, and it's like, how are we going to do that with the volcano and the Pompeii, like everyone's in ashes. I'm like, how are we going to do that one? Like, I don't know, how much budget have you got? So that was a challenge to get from the storyboard, which I don't have in front of me. But that was cool that you had done a lot of the groundwork and like thought of this complex sequence of shots to get, and it's like, it's been so cool working with you because you had that image in your head. You already had an idea of how it even looked, with the angles and the fire in the background and certain like certain scenarios, so it saved me from inventing that, so I could concentrate more on the how-to part.
Yeah, definitely. Do you feel like that's something that you would recommend maybe to other musicians or people coming to a videographer, is to have a clear concept to bring, and even a storyboard? That's something is helpful.
Yeah, 100%. And I'd say most musicians should be capable of that, I would have thought, because they can already create music. So because you've got to have that creative mind to be able to like come up with a story. But I don't think everyone's going to be able to do that. So that's where it just makes a lot more work for me. And then you've got to like, I've got to do all the imagination in my head, then somehow figure out how to present that to someone. And it's like, do you think that'll work?
Yeah.
Because I could put all this effort into thinking this epic thing, and they might go like, nah, it's not what we were thinking. So that's what the storyboard process comes in, because like, it's their baby, you know. If you've got an image that you want to portray, I don't know that image because I didn't write the song, or like I don't know what the emotions are and what the concept of the story is behind that. So having someone that has a vision already is it's kind of essential, I think.
And I did come in with a very strong concept already and a strong vision, and I was really like excited to be given that free rein with the concept. So even down to the costuming and we even created like the landscape in a sense, in creating the ash for the ashy element of the shoot. So that was an interesting process, wasn't it? Creating ash.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, how are we going to get like, what are we going to need, like 4 cubes of ash or something? Like, how do we do that? It's not like I make fake rocks for a living, but I've never made fake ash.
Yeah. And to have it like have the same properties and sort of move and look like real ash was important to us. So it took a bit of fiddling with the formula. I think we ended up with a mixture of like corn flour and charcoal powder, and we mixed in some other like organic material to make it look more real. But that in itself was really fun.
It was.
Getting really messy and covered in stuff. Yeah. Were there any sort of standout moments for you in either the filming or the process of filming where it was especially rewarding, or you like just that yes moment, like that's the shot, or that's that's what I'm looking for?
Yeah, a lot of those, and like I seek those bits, those like when I see magic, I get excited. I'm like, yes, that's gonna look sick in post. Like when I'm editing, I just know to slow that down, and like when the smoke just happens to come past at the right time, and you hold this stance that it's like really believable or something like that, and I'm like, yes, that's gold. Or like when the dancers are doing something cool with the fire or whatever. Heaps of those moments,
Probably, I would say one of my favourite shots, and it took a bit of doing, was the fire circle. I had this. Maybe we can chat about that. Yeah. But this one up on screen.
Yeah.
But finding a way to literally draw a ring of fire around me, that took a bit of doing, didn't it?
Yeah, because she was like, oh, so I want to like draw a fire. I want to be on my knees and I want to draw a fire. I'm like, okay. I can't do that in one shot, because how is she going to actually draw fire? Like the health and safety reasons of like, are you willing to set
literally
yourself on fire?
Flames, yeah.
Exactly. Like, okay, so we could like, have petrol around there and just hopefully it doesn't burn you. Or,
should we give it a
go? I think I took a few seconds to realise that wasn't the right angle to take. And I was like, okay, surely. I'd never done it before, like having someone draw a ring of fire around them. Like, I'm sure I can do that in just 2 exposures and just link them together like this shot here. So that's like, we poured we poured a ring of petrol. Maybe a few times it took, didn't it? And I was thinking like, okay, I want to slow it down. So how I'm going to know how fast the flames are going to light that circle. So there's so much guesswork in the process, but I just trusted that I'll wing it. I'll be able to edit in post and make it work, I'm sure. And everything just worked perfectly. It was like the timing of that was just like, yeah, it's like I've done it before, right?
Yeah, it's like, you know, yeah, you knew exactly what you're doing from the get-go. Nice work.
I think it all flowed together pretty well, and it was kind of like, yeah, it was pretty smooth process, wasn't it?
Mm.
Everyone seemed to embrace the cold and the dirtiness and getting all like muddied up, and like everyone was kind of like really happy to be part of that process. So
Yeah.
that was cool, and everyone sort of played their role quite efficiently and effectively.
Mm.
So I don't think there was any other really challenges other than the how are we going to do the ash. I think we had drummers with the fog machine because the wind kept on blowing the fog wrong way. And it's like,
right.
okay, cut,
Yeah.
do it again. So it's like,
More smoke.
yeah. That's about it. But yeah, it was a fun process.
It was really fun, and very, very grateful to the team of people that kind of jumped in and got cold and got messy and got dirty. It was like a 12-hour shoot. So very grateful for those people in our worlds that are willing to do that and jump in and help out. Like, it would not be the clip that it is without the support of the people around us. So that was so cool. So shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. So this video did take a fair bit of work in post, didn't it, to bring it all together? And yeah, so what do you use in post? What sort of software, what sort of programs do you use in pulling out something like this together?
Okay, so I mean, I edit in Final Cut Pro, and then I just use plugins in Final Cut Pro. Like, for example, that particular one where you, I had to mask out everything around you. And when you're dealing it in slow motion, you got 100 frames per second. So I don't want to have to keyframe each frame 100 times for 1 second worth of footage. You know, it'd take ages. So I use a plugin called Roto AI. So I actually use artificial intelligence to mask out everything. That came in handy a lot in this procedure, because quite often I've got like 3 or 4 layers of things going on. I had to delete that layer to make that layer pop up, so I'd delete, you know, the frame around that, and like a lot of waiting for this little clock to render and process everything.
The endless rendering.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much work in post. You think, you know, a lot of times people think, you know, in photography or videography, the work is the shoot, but actually so much, the bulk of the work is actually in post and editing everything together, and it takes so much time and many hours in front of the screen.
Yeah, it does.
Going cross-eyed at the end.
Yeah, totally, sometimes. And also, it's like, sometimes you have these moments just like, where am I? I'm completely lost. Like, there's all frames going all over the place and layers, and I'm like, what is what? Because I've got the... This is the whole project. So like, look at all this stuff, and sometimes I'm like, where am I? And it's just like, you can go a little bit nutty.
Yeah.
And you make one little change, you got to wait for it to render.
Yep.
So, but there's so much work that goes in behind the scenes to something like that, but there's also a massive part of it is when I'm shooting, to know that what is possible in the process of post editing. So I can be looking for those angles, looking for certain things to be like, okay, well that can line up with that, and then I'm kind of editing in my head as I'm shooting.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. It's sort of pre-planning. Yeah. So you know what to capture and how to capture it.
Yeah, because we can have the storyboard, which is basically like, you know, one picture of the whole 20 seconds, and like, okay, I've got to fill in that 20 seconds with what? with things, I'll just like, hopefully I'll get some awesome stuff, and it's just like, but everything's really quick on the night, you know, you're capturing this and capturing that and capturing that, and then I like do it again, because I know that in the editing process, the more that I've got, the more footage I've got, the more options I've got to find that those magic shots.
Those magic moments. Yeah. Is there any advice you'd give to someone who is maybe wanting to step into videography? Someone who's starting out or wants more experience? Yeah, in that area.
I guess I'd say just start doing it.
Yeah.
Just get any old camera and just start concentrating on seeing if you can edit things together in a way that makes people feel, you know, like I like to edit, you know, using artistry, like, you know, colours and things in slow motion, and I'm just winging it a lot of it, you know. I've just done enough of it and I know what's possible in editing. That's why I like to capture everything in slow motion, so I can slow things down, and I shoot in 4K all the time, so I can crop in post as well. But for anyone interested in doing it, just get a camera and just start doing it.
Yeah, start playing.
Because you'll teach yourself how to do it, and then just YouTube. So much stuff on YouTube. You can just like how to make a film clip, and then go on that rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole, but it's a fun one.
Absolutely. To touch sort of back on something you just said then, I think, yeah, it's one thing to capture something that's happening in front of you, but to bring the artistry to it, to make art from it, to bring the magic from it, I think that's what makes something really special. And I love that about working with you, and that's why you're a great choice for us, because you understood a vision and you could add your own, and it was collaborative and it was easy and it was fun, and you just got it, like, and you threw so many cool ideas in the mix that I didn't think of either, and I thought I'd fully mapped everything out. Got everything covered.
I could really feel like, wow, that's kind of almost a storyline of my life. Like finding my voice, coming up from a place in me that I felt like I was dying, and then I had to rebirth and, like, you know, rise like the phoenix and come out of those ashes and like find that voice again and find who I was. So like in the process of editing, I had a few moments where I was like, whew. Yeah, that gets me.
Yeah. That's so awesome to hear, because that's what you want as a creative, is you want people to feel. I know for me, maybe my definition of success isn't the standard definition, and for me it's genuineness. For me it's actually taking what's in my heart and conveying that accurately, because when you're real and when you're true, that's what makes people feel. So thank you for giving me that feedback. That that means a lot to me, because that's what I want at the end of the day. Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of things, what would you like to hope out of achieving from this video? Like, what are you trying to help people in the process, do you think? I'm always about helping people.
I think success in the usual way, as in it's popular, it's seen. For more, it's put in words. For me, it just means it's put in front of more people and potentially reaching more people. And I think there's something in knowing there's commonality in our struggles. I sing about some deep and sometimes dark things, but to know someone else has experienced that, that's not unique to you, I think is important. So yeah, that's what I'm wanting. I'm wanting it to go out there to reach people and to hopefully bring awareness, healing. The process of writing helps me. So hopefully the process of listening and watching these videos helps people express their own emotions. And I always try and put a little element of hope in everything that I do and write. Because there's always that duality, darkness and light, and they've got to work together.
It's beautiful.
Is there anyone that you sort of aspire to working with? Are you looking into more videos with other artists, or what's your aspirations?
Anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone that's like got a cool story to tell. And I think I really loved the story because I could actually see myself in the lyrics. I could see myself in the story, and I'm like, I can empathize with the lyrics, and that's why I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I don't know if I'll do videos for anyone, right? But I'd much prefer something of substance and depth. Someone that wants a story to be told with imagery, not so much like, I love telling stories with imagery, and obviously the lyrics tell a story, but the imagery is just as powerful as the lyrics. So, I mean, I love to do videos for people that have a cool story.
Yeah. Storytelling is such an art, I think. And we as humans, as humanity, we've told stories from the beginning of time. We're kind of closely linked with story. And music and imagery work so beautifully together, and when they're edited, to complement each other, they're such a powerful combination, I feel.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, music alone can evoke a certain amount of feeling, but then when you've got imagery to shake hands with that, it's just like, oh, we can like really profoundly hit your heart.
Yeah. We want people to feel things. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much content on the internet these days. We didn't want to create something that was just another pretty video. We wanted it to mean something, and to truly reflect kind of the place where the lyrics have come from as well. So thank you so much for getting that and giving us this beautiful video to go along with our music. So thank you so much.
It's
really
been
appreciate
a pleasure.
it.
It's been a pleasure.
I look forward to working with you again, hopefully.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.